What's going on, Spiritual Lights? Back for video 2 in our beginning series. I know you guys came here for trading info and strategy probably, but I'm just taking a week to roll out my YouTube channel before we dive into all the good stuff. First up on the list, or next up, things that almost made me quit. Over these past few years that I've been doing this and trying different things, it's not all been pretty, and I was ready to give up quite a few times. So I know some of you have already given up. Some of you, this may be your last chance. Some of you, it may be fresh. It might be first starting out, and this is the first video you get. If that's you, congratulations. Thank you for choosing me to go on your journey with. Still a little bit under the weather, but like I said, I got to push this content out. Got to make sure I hold myself accountable and do everything that I need to do. But with that being said, mistakes that almost made me quit. I think the first one, probably not the biggest one, but kind of go in order from smallest to largest impact. I was going too fast, wanting to come up too quickly. You know, again, the reason why we got into this is to get rich, and a lot of us to get rich quick. And so just trying to take in every single piece of information. I took this course, I took that course. I tried a myriad of different Discord channels. I tried signals, you know, where somebody just tells me what to do and I just plug it in. And as you can see, it didn't work because here I am today. I even had a talk with a profitable trader one time. So I was in a Discord channel and he was trying to get me to buy the course, but also, keeping it real with me. So I'm trying to figure out, do I need this course? I think I should be able to be profitable within the next, month or two or whatever. And he was really honest with me. He just said if I was going to, become profitable, he said it didn't happen overnight. And he quoted me about 2 years until I would be profitable. Now it's been a little bit over 2 years since then. I'm still not profitable, but that's because I didn't take his advice. I was like, oh no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know my story. He doesn't know everything that I've been through already. So him saying 2 years is probably just for somebody who's just getting in the game. And I remember he asked me in that conversation, he's like, how much do you risk on your account per trade? You know? And at the time, I was, again, trying to come up. I was trying to make money quickly. So I was like, oh, I risk about 10%. He's like, you're insane. He said there should be no more than 3% risk. And again, to me, as someone who was still not very humble, I guess you could say, thinking that I knew everything, I was like, I don't know how you're making money. And I even started to question his profitability. But, that thing about how much do you risk on your account really stuck with me. And so then I started to look into, like, how much should I be risking then? He said 3%, but that can't be right. I can find somebody risking 10% out here. And so that kind of leads me into another mistake that almost made me quit, and that's risk control. I was blowing accounts left and right. What I thought was that you put money into an account and you make it grow and you take it out, and then, eventually you lose it, and then you have to put more money in the account, but hopefully you've taken profits off of that money. And so, losing it all doesn't really mean anything. You can just put some money back in there and you're still up in the green. And man, I was naive in what I was thinking. So I blow accounts using too much leverage. Yeah, I'd risk 10%. And then what would happen is it would get to the point where I'd say, okay, this is where I want to sell. But something in me just didn't want to let it go, didn't want to let the trade go. So I would say, oh, well, it's at this level, but it's looking like it's going to go down. So if it goes down a little bit, then I'll just get out then, you know. That's probably the most dangerous thing that I did. And that many times almost caused me to just say, hey, you know what? Forget this. It's not for me. Let me go try something else. And boy, have I tried other things. So don't get me wrong. It's not like I didn't quit. I definitely did quit. But I just kept always circling back to it. There was always something that got me back into it that kept having me try again, just one more time, just one more time. But sometimes I take a week or two off, or maybe even a month break, and say, hey, this is not for me, and try something else and pivot. But my heart really wasn't in those things. So risk control, I would say, is definitely kind of put me at the game. Blowing some accounts, stepping away from it. But here I am once again, back at it. And I think the third mistake that I made that had almost made me quit, or led me to one of my quitting cycles, I guess you could say at this point, was not being mentally prepared. I didn't know what it meant to be a day trader or a trader in general. Sitting there watching your money get depleted is one thing. Losing your money, and that has a real effect on your psyche, right? And I think a lot of people can understand that. Nobody wants to lose money. Those losses, they sting, they hurt, and soon you find yourself doing whatever it takes to not lose, not following a plan, not following your ideas, jumping from strategy to strategy. I'm not giving anything a chance, not truly back testing and journaling and learning from my mistakes, just doing whatever I could to try to get a win. So from these three main mistakes, I have learned quite a bit. So I'll share with you what I've learned, and then I'll kind of wrap up this video for number 2 of the week in our beginning series. If you like this content, please leave me a like and hit the subscribe button so you can follow along on my journey. So what I learned, starting off with just taking in so much information and going too fast, this is not a get rich quick idea. While it is a track to independence and freedom and all the things we talked about in the first video, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not like winning the lottery. It's not like one trade is going to change my life. That's one thing that I've learned, and I know now with consistency and patience, that's the way that I'm going to change my life. So the main takeaway from going too fast is, hey, that's not what this is. Moving on to risk control, 2 very simple things that I learned. Number 1, have a stop loss always. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, certain platforms stop loss hunt and they're trying to get you out of the trades and trying to cheat you. Hey, put the stop loss in there. Trust me. The other thing is now I only risk 1% on the account. So making this account go from $100 to $200, I'll be doing it risking $1 at a time. So that's how risk control has really been implemented into my strategy. As far as the mental part, I think that is more of a daily reminder of saying, hey, you've got to keep your emotions in check. You've got to realize that streaks happen, right? Good streaks and bad streaks. Let me take it just a little minute to go back on some of those emotional lessons that I learned, because I think it's important for people to know that losing 4 trades in a row is detrimental to your psyche, but winning 4 trades in a row can be equally as detrimental to your psyche. Overconfidence is just as bad as underconfidence or as not being sure. So really trying to stay right at that median level, at that middle zone where, yes, I'm super excited because I just won 4 trades in a row, but also I'm humble enough to know, hey, stick to the process. You still can do wrong. You are not perfect. Some of the things I've implemented, if I lose 3 trades in a row, or 4 trades, 3 or 4 trades in a row, I'll step away for the day. It doesn't mean I'll completely shut out the charts, but I know that I'll log out of my trading platform for the day. And so, yeah, maybe I'm following along on TradingView, but I'm not logged in to be able to make any moves, any sudden moves, right? In order for me to log back in for that day, it would have to be almost the perfect setup. And even still, I may just like to watch it hypothetically win, right? So in my mind, I try to treat a hypothetical win as a real win in my mind. So that I'm saying, okay, I gained that confidence back. I can do this now, right? Yeah, I may have lost 3 or 4 in a row, but that doesn't mean that my strategy is not working. That doesn't mean that I didn't have good setups. That doesn't mean that I need to go and adjust something, right? It just means that I don't have to win every single trade to be profitable. In fact, I will probably along this process lose more trades than I win, as long as those losses are only 1% and those wins are 2.5 to 3%, I will still manage to be profitable. So with that being said, I think this video is getting long enough. You guys have learned a little bit more about some of the mistakes I've made, and hopefully, again, if you're just starting off, you can learn from me and not make some of these same mistakes. But I will say with trading, it does, as I listen to more traders, the successful ones anyway, it does sound like you've got to go through your own process of making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and, getting better. I don't think anybody's going to be able to just start on someone else's level just because you learn from that person. You do have to go through your own trials and tribulations in order to make this work. So that's enough for the mistakes I made that almost made me quit. Next video tomorrow, I'll be Just taking you guys through my process. Like, what strategies have I tried? What ones were successful for me in the past? Because I do have a strategy that is successful, and I can tell you why I don't use it now in the next video as well. And I'll break down what I'm using now, what I've been back testing for the past few months, what I've been really focused on, and how to really become profitable as a day trader. So I know that's probably more of the content that you guys are looking for, actual chart content, and don't worry, that is coming in the next video. But always remember, this is the journey, not the highlight reel. Trade smart, live free.